Some people come in and they don't know what we are. We are an upscale, sophisticated, contemporary American seafood place. I mean, we don't have grilled swordfish with lemon. It's usually grilled swordfish with maybe a lobster essence. We turn the food up here a notch. We get some nice folk that just want scallops and they want my halibut and they want our lobster salad, which I'm making now. And then there's people who know that the menu is going to change every week, and they look forward to it and come in with, you know, nice anticipation. It's a very casual atmosphere, very pleasant, great servers, great friendly staff. But the food is similar, you know, it's like New York. It's like some of the better restaurants in Manhattan and some of the better restaurants in Chicago. I tried to keep up with those restaurants, but at about a third of the price.
Now, Judy, Atlantique is still considered a well-kept secret, so tell us why you recommended it.
It just hits all my senses as soon as I walk in till when I walk out, and there's a smile on my face as I leave the door. You sit down at your table, and the first thing you see is this napkin that's in the shape of a tuxedo shirt, which just brought a tremendous smile to my face. You're given bread immediately out of a basket, warmed bread, and we had a chipotle hummus spread there. And so you're not hungry, you know you're going to get your drink, you have a nice person waiting on you, hopefully you're with great people that you're having fun with, and it starts like that.
Yeah, I agree, and I really, that was a very nice restaurant. I really enjoyed myself there. I like the hummus, but with the warm bread, I think I must have eaten about 5 pieces of bread because it was so good. I also had the oysters with the cucumbers and the vinaigrette as an appetizer, and it was delicious. I mean, I wanted to order some more, and then I had the pheasant, which was so delicious. The pheasant was so good that the fat was delicious. I mean, I wanted to order some more. The fat, it was so good. So
they cook the skin on game birds like that when the skillet is so hot and the bird is, you know, is cooked in there. It makes the skin so crispy, and I think a lot of restaurants don't do that. So I mean, Jack Jones is a very talented chef, and his other team of chefs, they do a really good job.
I was knocked out by the restaurant. I hadn't heard of it at all. I mean, it was a completely new experience for me.
You're a guy that gets around a
I
little.
do. I know quite a few places, and I love restaurants in Chicago. And Atlantique, it sounded familiar, but I walked in and had exactly the same reaction. I thought, wow, this is great. I was a little disturbed. Big blue marlin over the bar. I thought, what kind of place am I walking into here? But, you know, they make you feel terrifically at home. The bread is great, which is always a good sign. The tuxedo made me laugh a lot as well. But the fantastic food. I started out with a cappuccino lobster with scallops and black truffles served in this beautiful china cup. And everything about it was elegant, but completely unpretentious. And I didn't realize, actually, that we had such a sophisticated seafood house in Chicago. It surprised me, the chef's commitment to doing very innovative things with seafood, but obviously with pheasant and birds as well.
Right, I agree. I think you know, what you mentioned, the cappuccino of lobster is a big trend right now in dining, where they use foamy sauces in such a way and they present it in something that's very interesting.
It was a perfectly beautiful cup. It was this sort of foamy cappuccino of a lobster broth.
And I had a lobster dish in a martini glass with turnip puree underneath, and it was just delicious. And irrespective of what it's served in, the food is so fresh and delicious. Right. It is amazing.
Now, in the restaurant business, we like to compare, you know, ourselves to putting on a show and having it all be a stage and, you know, changing the setting and really interacting with the guests. I mean, do you think that's a fair comparison?
Yeah, they're very similar businesses, the theater and the restaurant world, and you are putting a show on between, whatever, 7 o'clock at night and 12 o'clock. And speaking as a theatrical person, one of the things I appreciated was the theatricality of the presentation. Right. I mean, of using a martini glass, you hear or these china cups. It was very witty, very imaginative, and just a lot of fun.
Yeah, and everything was just so shiny, and you know, when you walk in on every table, everything was just set up so beautifully.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you, I really got relaxed when I walked in and heard that jazz music. I mean, the jazz just relaxed me, and it was like real
You know
cool.
what was great about it too, Walter, was it had a wonderful neighborhood feeling. Going up to Andersonville, which is its own unique neighborhood in Chicago, right there on Clark Street, you could tell the people in there were regulars.
Right.
It didn't have a sense of people who were going to be intimidated by the dining experience.
Right.
Everybody was very comfortable with the food and each other.
One of the most important things when I judge a restaurant is, am I being invited into their home? And that's what I judge on. And part of that is you don't want to feel anxious. You don't want anybody to feel anxious as an owner or a manager of a
I think
restaurant.
one great thing that Walter said, which is a pet peeve of mine as an operator, but also when I go to restaurants, I mean, I like to look at the glass and make sure it's polished, you know, the perfect way. And obviously they show their staff there how to do that the right way.
And I must say that the waiter there was very nice. I asked a lot of questions about the foods and all of the side dishes, and he really took pride in being able to tell me every detail.
That's something that's also really important for Jack Jones. He has a lot of great experience. He's worked with Tony Mantuano when he was at Spiaggia. He's worked for Michael Foley at Foley's when it was open. And he's very influenced also by the restaurants in New York, like we talked about. And I think he sees these people, from what he told me, and likes to kind of, you know, see what they're doing and keep up with them.
So is your sense really that it's sort of an undiscovered secret a little bit, that you just don't think he's gotten the kind of publicity that he should?
I think he's in an interesting location, and he has a few other restaurants actually as well. He has Jack's on Halstead, and
His locations always are not in the
Neighborhoods.
center of an area. They're in neighborhoods.
When I went there, I actually passed the place up, and I was like, "This is it." You know, it was like I didn't notice it.
Alderman, we got to get you on the north side more often.
Well, you know, I'm the West Loop. You know, I eat over there all the time.
this is Judy's favorite place, so why don't you give us a little wrap-up of it?
Okay, I think that, as I said, it hits all your senses and you leave having a memorable experience. The food is delicious, the wait staff is wonderful. It's a place that you want to go back to again.
And what about for you, Walter?
Oh, definitely. I would love to go back there. The attention that you get is very special, and the service is fast. That's one thing that I really appreciated, because I was actually in a hurry, and I ate, and I didn't even want to leave though, you know, because the food was so delicious. It's a good place.
And Robert,
I'm
for
right
you?
there with everybody else. I thought it was a terrific discovery, and it's a place I would recommend heartily to everybody in Chicago to discover the wonderful, wonderful restaurant.
Well, you can find Jack Jones at Atlantique at 5101 North Clark in Chicago. The number is 773-275-9191. They are open 7 days a week for dinner, and reservations are recommended but not required, and the average tab without drinks is about $48 a person.